Good morning, junk removal warriors. Joseph here, VETS Haul Junk Removal in Stafford, Virginia on Friday, November 19th, 2021. Just a few days left until Thanksgiving. And I wanted to encourage you this morning, guys, because as I mentor many of you in the junk removal space, and I mentor a lot of you, I'm hearing much of the same thing. Joseph, business has slowed down tremendously. I'm not booking any jobs. My phone isn't ringing. What do I do? Guys, I wanted to remind you that junk removal is a cyclic business. And I wanted to encourage you, especially those of you who are in your very first season of junk removal. Junk removal, I'll say it again, is a cyclic business. It's always been like this, and it probably always will. So don't stress. Don't fret. Remain steadfast. Many of you need to hear this because many of you are giving in and listening to that little voice in the back of your mind that's saying, you made a mistake. When your spouses are saying that you aren't booking any jobs, when your friends are poking fun at you, or maybe they're saying this, I told you this wasn't going to work. Guys, you need to remain steadfast and focused on your mission and focused on the pursuit of accomplishing your junk removal dreams. Remember the fire that you had when you began your junk removal journey. We as well have experienced a very slight decrease in business. But guys, junk removal is cyclic. You can always expect that around Thanksgiving, New Year, Christmas, 4th of July, the beginning of the school year, the end of the school year, that business will slow down. For some of you, quite a bit. For others, just a little blip on the screen. But always remember, this will pass. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. But there are certain things that you need to refocus on in order to take maximum advantage of this lull in business. It's time, guys. It's time during the slow times to focus on the little things, even though the little things aren't actually very small. Things like maintaining your equipment. You know, if you're like me, you do inspections of your equipment before you go out to start your junk removal day. But many of you don't. So bad on you. But you need to utilize this time to look at all of your equipment, guys, to make sure it's in proper operational condition. Because if you don't take advantage of this time, and when junk removal begins to pick up, your equipment, your truck, your this, your that, it's going to go out when you need it most. Right now is the time that you need to focus. So there's nobody calling. So you're not booking any junk removal projects. The surest way to kill the growth of your junk removal business is to cease creating momentum for your junk removal business. How do you create momentum for your junk removal business? You do one thing, you do some things, you do multiple things, but every day, guys, every day, you make time to do something in the name of the growth of your junk removal business. That's how you create forward momentum without fail. Even if you don't feel like it, even if the phone isn't ringing, even if you would rather sleep or take time off. Don't let one day go by that you don't do at least one thing for your business. Think of growing your business like a war. It's a war against you. Your competitors want to see your business die. That voice way back here wants your business to die. And if you don't self-motivate, if you don't turn that TV off, if you don't put your boots on and do the things necessary to create forward momentum for your business will die. And the competitors in your market who are doing the things that are necessary to propel their business forward, their business will increase and yours will die. So during this time, you should be doing what I do. I look at things like my marketing plan. And I inspect what has worked and what isn't working, what isn't producing results. And I tweak my marketing plan. I spend significant focus and I lend significant attention to my marketing plan. And I deviate slightly. I make little adjustments here and there because the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. Right now is the time, while you have the time, to tweak your systems and procedures. Another thing, when I hear from a lot of you and you're saying, Joseph, I'm not getting any business, my phone's not ringing, what am I doing wrong? Should I get on AdWords? Should I increase my ad spend? And then I look at your website or I look at your online presence and I'm seeing grammatical errors. I'm seeing bad photos. I'm seeing the killer of before and after photos of junk piles, of junk removal projects that you've done. Guys, I'm not going to spend much time on this, but that does nothing to relate confidence to the customer that they should use your junk removal company for their junk removal project. If anything, that's boring. That turns the customer off. You already have done your due diligence to get the customer to your Facebook page, to your website. For God's sake, guys, post things that excite the customer, that relate confidence to the customer, that, my goodness, these are the right guys for the job, that show smiling, happy faces, employees in uniform. Build your brand. Don't waste your time and your efforts and the customer's time by putting out a substandard image for the customer to consume, when it's so easy to fix all of those little errors. It's the little things, guys. It's the little things that make the biggest impression. So right now that you have the time, I challenge you, go on Facebook, look at your photos. Can I improve on my photos? Can I improve on my photos? Look at your postings. Does the idea flow? Does the idea in the copy on your posts or on my website relay the type of message and branding that I want the customer to see? Is there continuity of messaging? If not, right now is the time to improve your foundation. Another thing you can do, educate yourself in some of the basic principles of how to run a business. It's all there for you. It's on YouTube. It's all over the internet. It's at your fingertips. Everything you need to succeed has been laid out for you and is easily accessible on the World Wide Web. Yet, some of you, like a young man I spoke to this morning out of Tampa, Florida, had absolutely no idea of basic business principles, how to keep himself out of trouble. I asked him, so what kind of business structure is your junk removal business? Well, we're going to advertise on Craigslist. We're going to advertise on Facebook. Wrong answer. That wasn't my question. If you're calling me for advice or guidance or mentorship, for God's sake, guys, invest a little time in your own self-education. It will benefit you tremendously. So then I asked, well, I'm talking about an LLC, your LLC. Do you know the basic things that you have to do in order to maintain the protections that a limited liability company affords you? Well, not really. So are you commingling? Are you protecting your corporate? Are you maintaining your corporate veil of protection for that LLC so that your personal assets aren't threatened in litigation? Well, no. So I educated him a little bit. But, really, guys, it's up to you to do the things that you need to do to ensure you're doing things correctly. If you're ever drawn into litigation for whatever reason, lack of knowledge of basic business principles and protections is not, the fact that you didn't know you should do these things is not a defense in court. That's my kitty. Charlie, stay off, please. So enough about that. Self-education and self-development is important. One of my mantras has always been ABI, ABI. Always be improving. And most importantly, guys, this is everything. While you have this free time, while the phone isn't ringing, while you aren't actually out there in the field conducting junk removal operations, utilize this time to go out and shake hands, kiss the babies, create those relationships with realtors, with apartment community managers, with those centers of influence. Centers of influence, if you've not watched my previous videos, are those types of individuals which can duplicate your efforts to get the message of your junk removal out to the masses, to spread your junk removal message, to evangelize your business on your behalf. And it's easy, guys. I've advised many a junk removal entrepreneur to go out and shake the hands, kiss the babies, make those personal connections. But they say, well, it's uncomfortable. I'm nervous. I'm not sure of myself. Guys, if you don't do it, who's going to do it for you? If you don't do it for your business, I'm going to do it for my business. And if you're in my market, I'm going to ensure that I take your market share from you, because I'm willing to go out and do the things that many of you aren't willing to do, because it's scary, because it's uncomfortable, because I've never done it before. I've heard that before. Somebody said, well, I'm not going to do it because I've never done it before. Cool. Continue to do that. You do that, and I'll do this, and we'll see who makes it to the finish line. Guys, junk removal is a cyclic business. It's slow for some of you, but this too will pass. It always does. I've been in business going on 6 years soon, and I have not, as of yet, witnessed a slow period that lasts. But I have witnessed tough individuals that last. Tough times never last. Slow periods never last. But tough people do. Don't forget why you decided to get into junk removal. And especially those of you who have employees. One of the individuals I spoke to yesterday has a few employees. And when he's not out there getting work, his employees aren't bringing home paychecks. You have an obligation to your employees to keep them working. So go out, secure that work, and keep your employees working. If you like the type of stuff I talk about, would you subscribe to my YouTube channel? On top of that, if you're in Northern Virginia and you have stuff that you just need gone and maybe you don't have a way to get it to the landfill, or you have a friend in the junk removal industry, yours truly, VETS Haul Junk Removal LLC in Stafford, Virginia. We can be found online at vetshauljunk.com. That is vetshauljunk.com. And if you're local, you can reach out to us directly at 540-657-VETS. That number, once again, is 540-657-8387. And I will see you next time.
Rock, steady. Rock me, rock, rock me, rock.